I'm Tarka Ellipse. I work at DJ Engineering. I've been here for 2 years. We manufacture aerospace equipment for various sectors. I manage a handful of ignition servers, and I've installed ControlByWeb modules on everything I can possibly. This is going to go through Modbus communication for connecting a ControlByWeb module to ignition. It's also going to assume that you know how to set up a ControlByWeb module and also have a little bit of experience with ignition itself. From the home page, you go General Settings, Advanced Network. You want to make sure that your Modbus settings are enabled, and that will let you view your Modbus address table. So from your Modbus address table, we have the addresses of all the inputs and outputs and any other I/O that you have set up yourself. And those correspond with the relays. So relay 1 through 4 correspond to these addresses 0, 2, 4, and 6. So these are already set up, so I'm not going to go through setting up any extra I/O since there's already plenty here to work with. So first what we're going to do is grab our IP address, go over to Ignition, and then go to Configure, go down to OPC UA Device Connections, create a new device, and then you come down to, I passed it. You come down to Modbus TCP, click Next, name it, give it a host name that's your IP address that you copied earlier, and the default settings are usually best left alone. I haven't had a really big need to alter any of the default settings except for a couple, and that is the reverse word order and zero base addressing. Since the Modbus address table starts at 0, it's going to be a zero base addressing. So then you scroll down, create new device, wait for it to connect, go to more, addresses, add row, add prefix, relay, your start address 0, your end address 1, since there is you're grabbing both 0 and 1. Unit ID is good as default. Step makes it to where it combines those into one tag, basically, instead of having two separate ones. So you don't have a 0 tag and a 1 tag, you have just a singular tag. Then you change this over here to holding register float, Modbus address 0, since that is the designation in the Modbus address table from the module. Click save. It will go through its connecting. And then before we go to the designer, what we can do is come down to the OPC Quick Client, open up the tree here, go to devices, find your device. One I set up is X412. Unit ID is 0 here because that's why I left it as the default of 0. And then here's the relay 01 and then the relay 0, which is the singular tag it made from both of those addresses. And then you can come here and read it, and it will tell you whether your value is good or not. It'll tell you what your value is, and that will help make sure that you're grabbing the correct data that you're expecting to grab before you do any other legwork and come and find out that you didn't grab the right values to begin with. So now from here, we know our tag name and our path. So then we come over to the Ignition Designer. We go to Browse Devices, expand the server tree, devices, same like we did earlier. Unit ID 0, relay 00, there's your tag. And then you can move that over with the arrow there. And then your new tag is pulled into Ignition. Relay 0 has a value of 0. You can go back to your module and go to monitor control. You can kind of see your general layout of your status of all your I/O currently. and you can toggle this relay 1 on. That will reflect right here in the designer. You can also, from the designer, if your designer is in read-write mode, you can also control the relays from here. And so you can write scripts, you can do any kind of logic in here, and then control the ControlByWeb module itself through the ignition. There is one other way to do this through Modbus and ignition without going through a handful of the steps, but it requires a little bit of knowledge of ignition's Modbus addressing. The easiest, since I already have this tag here, I'll duplicate that tag, and then I'll just call it relay 2. And then because we already know we have our base path right here, we know our device ID, which is 0 dot, and then since we know that the holding register data type is a float, we would do holding register float href, and then we would do 2 for address 2, which is the Modbus address in the address table for the second relay. Apply, OK, and then once that populates, we have the second relay there, and we can do the same thing from here that we did the other one, and that shows that it turned that relay on. So that is pretty much all there is to connecting Modbus from the ControlByWeb devices to ignition.